this French coach, he doesn't play around. He ain't there to protect anybody. Like he hasn't protected Gobert on that, or even made any excuse for him as to why he's making the game plan. And then on the other side, the Wemby stuff, it's like, and it's interesting because I do think that it's very, very possible, Kev, that we watch on Saturday, and that is, I think it's very likely that we get a rematch of this gold medal game in 4 more years. In fact, I think it's more than likely. Like, you don't even have to have all of them pan out. If you just had 2 of Koulibaly and Sarr and Risache and Salon, and then whatever group is coming up next, you're looking up in 4 years from now. I mean, who knows what Wemby's going to look like in 4 years? But I think you and I both believe he will be, if not the best, certainly in that very small conversation of the best players in the world. He will be 24. Like, that's not even his prime Olympics. But you look up at 4 years, and if 2 of these take of the group that's been drafted very highly these last couple of years, I mean, I think it's totally reasonable to think, man, they got a 24-year-old Wemby, and then you just need a couple more of those guys, because he's in there with Batum and Fournier and not a bunch of pros, but imagine if 2 of those guys become high-level pros, like outstanding NBA players, which they were drafted like they were going to become outstanding NBA players. Then I think it's more than likely this is part 1 of what will be 2 parts, and that we'll look up and in Los Angeles in a couple of years, they're playing against each other again.
I mean, look, dude, I think this could be the beginning of a, decade-long rivalry, or maybe even more. Victor's just, 20 years old and is entering a second year in the NBA. He's still at the beginning. He could play in 4, 5 Olympics. Who knows how long he'll play? But I think that the rise of French basketball players is only still beginning. And ultimately that team should improve, not just because Victor will improve, but as you mentioned, with all the other young names that are already here and that are coming, whether it's the incoming rookie class or rookie classes to come, the French basketball could become a real threat to win gold medals moving forward. And
I think it already is. They're playing in the gold medal game.
Yeah, it already is. And that's what makes it cool that, odds are USA wins. I don't know what the odds makers have put out for, a difference in the game. I would imagine US is heavily favored like they were against Serbia. But ultimately, I think we talked earlier in the week about that documentary, right? That I hope to watch someday, and maybe we'll see it for Team USA winning it. But I think for the French side of things, this is the start of that. It's going against USA with young Victor Wembanyama, and then the team you would hope gets better in the years to come, and someday wins a gold medal if you're rooting for France. And ultimately it all begins here. This is where it is. But they're not. I don't think they're anywhere near the level right now as we're talking about. I would be surprised if they take home gold on Saturday, despite how remarkable it would be to do that with France being the host country. But ultimately, silver is an honor in and of itself, because the French really had a fight to get to this point, man. They almost didn't even make the elimination part of the Olympic tournament here. So the fact they're even playing is something special.